now you've done it. You've got a mechanical injury out in the woods and you're medically stranded. What's next? Stay tuned. Hey guys, how you doing today? This is William Myers from Mantis Outdoors, back at you with another video. And in today's video, we're gonna play the victim. I'm a guy that just came out here for a day hike, snapped his ankle, and is medically stranded. So a couple videos back on Chris's channel, Prepared Mind 101, he introduced the tarp to me, and the tarp that we did the video on was like 3 football fields long, but it was one of these Arcturus tarps. I think the one that he did was like, it was huge. It was 12 by 7. Thing was like a pillow that you would use on your bed. It was just ginormous. Something that you would only pack in a main pack. You know, it was very, very big. But it did have some things that I was interested in. It's far and above, way, way better than your regular grabber heat sheet tarp. Way more reinforced, just tougher, built better in my opinion. And he said that they had these 5x7s. And that's what I was interested in. I don't want that big, huge thing. There's no way for me to pack it. It just doesn't make sense to me. This makes perfect sense, and I'll show you why. Because unlike a grabber, it has this cool case that comes in, and that's just like a shelter kit to go for me. So that's what I did. Inside of this, not only do I have the tarp, but I have 2 55-gallon 5mm trash bags, and I have a painter's tarp in here. Basically, this is just a super shelter kit that I can zip up, and I can throw this in my haversack or something smaller that I'm actually carrying with me, say if I'm hunting or something like that, than this big, huge backpack. So this is an emergency shelter just like this, and this is no bigger. In fact, this is a little bit smaller than a folded up grabber heat sheet tarp that I've been carrying for years anyways. So this is bomber in my opinion. So let's whip this out, throw it up in a shelter configuration, and see what we get. All right, guys, so like I said, this is Arcturus, however you say it, 5x7 emergency tarp. Here's my clear painter's tarp. This is something that I would like to be more heavy duty, but it won't fit in here if it is. This will work, but you sneeze and this thing's gonna poke a hole in itself. So just be careful of that. Just be, treat those with kids' gloves. But I always carry 2 55-gallon trash bags. And the reason why I carry 2 is because I can use one as a mattress, or I can use the other one as, say, an improvised poncho, or a poncho that I can stuff with leaves for insulation. So I always got 2 that I can maybe sleep on, and maybe even an improvised sleeping bag, etc., etc. And then the tarp itself. Now, when I was at Chris's, the only thing that I said negative about this was good luck getting this back in here. I've actually had this out and got it folded back and into the bag a couple times, so I'm not worried about that anymore. But like I said in the video of Chris's, these corners are just wicked reinforced, and the silver mylar seems like it's better as well. So we're going to unfold this, and I'll show you guys where all the tie outs are. So one every corner. You don't get any in the middle. That I think the one that Chris had was like 12 by a lot. It was a huge tarp, and it had tie outs kind of intermittently throughout the tarp itself. So this is pretty much just like a grabber heat sheet tarp. It just has tie outs on the corners, but we can work with that. As you can tell, this injury of mine happened pretty late in the day, so we're kind of scrambling at this point. I would have my leg immobilized, but it is, I know a lot of people are like, well, you could just hobble your way out. Yes, you could. I'm just setting up the scenario. But anyway, long story short, we're out here for the night, and it's getting late. And even though that it was 50 degrees today, it's going to get down to the higher 30s, about 34, 35, 36. it kind of differs in the woods from what the reports say, because it'll get colder in here. So we're definitely going to need a fire. So right now I'm gathering all the natural cordage that I can get, and then I'm going to process this down as much as I can. I got some grapevine over there as well that once that stuff is processed down, it's bomber. All right, so I need to clean up this area, and I also need to collect this debris for my mattress. So I'm going to use a rake, but what I do is I just take a Y branch. This isn't perfect, but it'll work. It's strong enough for me to do what I want to do. And I take duct tape, and I will put these two pieces together, kind of make a bushcraft rake, if you will. And then if you just do one layer, stuff will kind of just hop right over it. So I kind of do 2 layers of this, just like this. I don't care about using this duct tape, that's why I buy it, just to use it. And they're like, oh, you're wasting your duct tape. Not for the amount of debris that this thing is going to collect for me. I don't view it as a waste at all. This makes my life 10 times easier. I'm going to use the resource that I packed with me. If you can tell, I'm kind of in a hurry right now. It is getting dark and we got to get a move on. Like, I would say that this is a setup situation, but if I don't hurry up, it's going to get real quick. We did not pack sleeping bags. We did not pack shelter other than that tarp. So if I don't get this going, we're going to be SOL pretty quick.
And yes, he does mean we.
Okay, groovy. You see how that works? Clean this shelter area up a little bit, at least. Knew we were going to fill it back in with debris, but sticks and other crap out of the way. Alright, so although I've never set that particular tarp up before, it's a 5x7, I just treat it just like a regular grabber. I want to go about mid quad to knee height. So that's where I'm going to set my ridge line up, about that height. All right, so we're done with the shelter. You can see in the background we have a nice debris bed. We have the tarp. We have the painter's tarp over that. It's gonna be a sauna in there. I have things that I can pull on me. I have an emergency sleeping bag. It's like one of those Mylar sleeping bags. Never gonna need that. Not gonna need a sleeping bag as long as this fire keeps rolling. And I have a UCO candle lantern that I keep on me. I love those things. That thing will burn for 12 hours. My beeswax candles will, at least. And that will do. You know, it will change the temperature in that super shelter. That heat's not going to go anywhere, but it's not going to be anything like this. So let's go ahead and get this fire started. But I just wanted to say, Another use for this bag that the tarp comes into, you could use it for a knee pad. And I have another one right here as well. I've already got my knees pretty much soaking wet as it is, building stuff. But as you can see, we have wood sprawled out here, kind of categorized from like pencil lead to pencil to half a thumb to wrist, go on, etc., etc., etc. This is not enough wood. All that you see in front of you right now is just to get the fire started. That's it. This is probably a half hour's burn time, maybe. So we're going to go, after we get this fire started, get it self-sustaining, then we're going to go get the wood, drag it over here. We're not going to process it any way like this. We're just going to drag big sections, straight sections over, lay them next to the shelter. That way, when this fire is self-sustaining, all I have to do is reach my arm out, pull pieces onto the fire, and lay back down. Probably about every 2-3 hours, usually. So let's go ahead and get this going. I'm winded, man. Woo! I've been busting butt.
And I am
so late.
Naughty.
Well, it was late. Let's see.
I could have got that going one spark if you really wanted it to.
Even the most stubborn, tender bundles will go once you bring them up to temperature.
Yeah.
I just got some natural tulip poplar and then some grapevine in there. We're going to set that there like that. I've got enough time to not set my tools on the ground, to actually put them where they need to be. Don't smother this out.
And also, don't burn your beard hair. It's going.
Yep. Just need to give it some time to eat. I'll stay here for a second and take a breath, just in case I do see this start to stumble. I mean, it's literally a 3-month-old baby right now. You turn your head and it's gonna drink bleach. There we go, there we go. The reason why I'm doing this is because part of the video is I didn't bring any other means of sure fire. So we got to get this fire going, but just a ferro rod, no like magic stuff that Chris makes, no magic stuff from any store, just off the land and a ferro rod. Now I'm not going to put anything else on this fire until these flames are self-sustaining on this pile alone, up to here. Let that breathe and eat for a little bit, and then we can start feeding this fire, graduating up to bigger stuff. Oh yeah, she's going. Tiny bit wet too. Some of it is, not all of it. We're good. Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, so I'm gonna sit here and tend this for a second, get it a little bit more stable than this, get a decent bed of coals in here. And by the time I burn through about half of this, we got so much stuff out here that we can gather. I'm not worried about gathering firewood. I'm gonna stack this stuff up to the moon, man. We'll have fire all night. But I'm gonna cut the video here and we'll get right back with you. All right, guys, well, here we are. Got a small little vent here. You're always gonna want some kind of air to be able to get in here. My God, is it hot in here. I've slept in with Chris, especially. It was me, Andy, and Chris kind of in a triangle around a fire. And this is kind of the setup that I had then. And it was almost torturous. It is what it is right now. Right now my phone says it's 38 degrees and I'm not sleeping in anything. As long as I have this in the fire, I'm not putting anything over me, because I'm almost to the point where I'm sweating to where I'm going to get out of this thing here in a little bit. We got about 20-25 minutes of light left. We got a good bundle of firewood over here. I'm on a nice thick bed. I'm under this. What I do, I don't know if anybody else does this, is I post like sticks in behind my shelter to kind of pick that up. Another thing you can do is get the Gorilla Tape and make an eyelet on the outside and the middle, and then like wrench it up into a tree or something just to give you a little bit more space. But obviously this is plenty. And we got, just for filming, we got another debris bed, another couple bags that we're going to fill with leaves and get in here. It's going to be like a two-person for tonight because my kid's with me. So this is my shelter for the night, and it's smoking in here. So I'm going to get out of here, get that fire spread out a little bit. Since we started that fire, you start it right there, and then you start kind of spreading it out a little bit. Instead of just making 2 or 3 fires, you just spread it out. And it's going to calm down. It's roaring right now, and you just kind of not what you want. You want it to kind of calm down a little bit. And I don't know, the fire only needs to be about 6-7 inches high for it to be roasty toasty in here, and that's what it is now. It is stupid hot in here right now. Too hot. All right, Connor, what do you think?
I think it is blazing in here.
Yeah, this is Connor's this is Connor's first time in one of my shelters.
It's like you're standing right next to the fire.
Yeah, it will be. Like I said, this fire calms down a little bit and we stretch it out. It'll still be roasty toasty in there. You're not going to need a sleeping bag or anything like that. Doesn't matter because we didn't bring one. How's that debris bed?
It's nice.
All right, we got one.
You think it wouldn't be that comfortable because of the sticks? Honestly, it's not that bad.
Well, ideally you try to mitigate that by not putting them in there, but yeah.
Well, sticks and leaves, it's gonna happen.
Well, not that. That's more of the fact that we were rushing because, like, you see the horizon. We got literally maybe 10-15 minutes more sun. I got about a finger and a half of sun right there. So we were rushing. This is kind of what would happen if you were actually lost or medically stranded. It's not like you would do this at noon. You would do this later on in the day when you finally said, look, I got to stay the night here. So just kind of give her a small walk around. This is what I personally do. Some people don't. I will kind of stabilize my tarp with sticks, and I put it all the way over. I got to pick that up. I left that over there. I was thinking about kind of putting some Gorilla Tape on it, but you would never get that Gorilla Tape off. You'd have to pretty much can this tarp. But the reason why I do it this way and not other configurations of my main tarp is because I'm going to wrap the whole thing in this painter's tarp, and it's completely waterproof. It can rain as much as it wants to, and we're going to be fine in here. But, all right, guys, I got to tend to this fire a little bit better. I got to flatten it out, straighten it out, and add more wood to it, and we're going to be good.